Ken Tomei, Florida State looking ahead to Auburn, but also a big bowl bid, hopefully.
They are still right in the middle of the chase for not only a major bowl, a New Year's Day bowl, but a national championship as well. But that could change this week. But again, another week in the polls. The polls were very good to them again this week. Once again, the Florida State Seminoles found a log jam at the top of the Associated Press Top 20 College Football Poll, and as a result, FSU remains number 4 for yet another week. Are you getting tired of seeing Oklahoma, Nebraska, Miami 1, 2, 3? Well, if it's any consolation, the Sooners appear to be losing ground with the voters. Nebraska is eating into their lead little by little each week. LSU's number 5, Auburn number 6, UCLA 7th. The undefeated Orangemen of Syracuse are at number 8, followed by Notre Dame, and Georgia, who moves up into a tie for 10th place this week with Clemson. At number 12 is Oklahoma State. Alabama and South Carolina tied for 13th, and Michigan State is 15th. The final 5, Penn State, Florida taking the big drop from 10 to 17 after the Auburn loss. Indiana, another big loser, down 7 after their first Big Ten loss of the year. And Tennessee and Texas A&M round out this week's top 20. Now, the Seminoles' 7-1 record and number 4 ranking will get their toughest tests of the season Saturday night at Auburn. Both teams are right in the middle of the Major Bowl and National Championship picture. That could change after Saturday's game, as only one will remain standing. And as Don Evans tells us tonight, the Seminoles are ready to get after it.
We're at the mountaintop right now.
But it's an awfully high mountain for the Seminoles to climb on over. Standing in their way, an Auburn team that's beaten Florida State 12 out of 14 times in one of the wildest series in the country. The last was in 1985 when the Tigers scored 4 times in the last 5 minutes in a 59-27 blowout. That has left some bad memories.
I think it's going to have to even out sooner or later because nobody's that lucky.
Great games wouldn't turn out the loser. So, yeah, we're ready for that to change.
But there's also this little thing of the bowl bids coming out in 2 weeks. The Seminoles have had that in their sights ever since the start of the season. The 73-14 blitzing of Tulane Saturday was fun, but it's time for war and a gut check.
Florida State has had a habit of, letting other teams come back in the later part of the game.
We know we're one of the best teams in the country, but we want to see if we have it inside ourselves to, be a real tough team in a real tough situation and late in the year, which we haven't done lately.
It will be the most physical team the Seminoles play all season, including Miami, but that's always the case, and the Tribe's used to it by now.
Our boys are not afraid of Auburn. They've never been afraid of Auburn.
The irresistible force against the immovable object. Here we go for New Year's Day. Don Evans, Channel 6 Eyewitness Sports at Florida State.
And just a reminder, we'll have that Florida State-Auburn game for you right here on Channel 6 Saturday afternoon, starting at 2:30. One more poll tonight. The Georgia high school rankings just out this evening. Valdosta holds on to its #1 spot in Class 4A with Tift County in the also receiving votes category. Class 3A, Thomasville still on top, but Thomas Central finds itself with some company at number 3 this week. The Yellow Jackets are tied with Worth County, both teams at 7-1. Now, stop me if you've heard this one before. Chicago Bears quarterback Jim McMahon might not be able to play this Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. No, it's not his shoulder. That's no worse for the wear, as he showed yesterday, throwing 3 touchdown passes and a come-from-behind win over the Chiefs. But McMahon did pull a groin muscle in the victory and says it could keep him out of action this Sunday. Mike Tomczak will get the start if McMahon can't go. In the NFL tonight, the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants trying to regroup and win the rest of their games if they're to have a shot at the playoffs. In Dallas against the Cowboys, right now they're in the 3rd with the Giants leading 17-14. The Giants came in 1-5, Dallas 3-3, both way behind the NFC East leading Washington Redskins, who are at 6-1. The Centel Classic is over, but there's still some Tallahassee golf news tonight. Former Florida State golfer Paul Azinger today was named the PGA Player of the Year. Azinger was the 2nd leading money winner on the tour this season. He won the Greater Hartford Open back in June, then almost won the prestigious British Open a month later before losing out to Nick Faldo. Azinger clinched the Player of the Year award with a 4th place finish in the Nabisco Championship this weekend in San Antonio, Texas. An NBA trade today, the Washington Bullets sent forward Jay Vincent and guard Michael Adams to the Denver Nuggets for guard Darrell Walker and forward Mark Allery. Vincent became expendable when the Bullets signed former NBA scoring champ Bernard King as a free agent. Just a week after losing out to Whitey Herzog for the Baseball Writers National League Manager of the Year award, San Francisco's Roger Craig has been named the NL's top skipper by the Associated Press, with Herzog finishing 2nd. Craig took the Giants from a team with 100 losses in 1985 to the Western Division Championship in 1987. And Philadelphia Flyers right wing Dave Brown says he won't fight the 15-game suspension he was checked with today by the National Hockey League. Last week, you remember, Brown nearly took off the Rangers' Tomas Sandstrom's head with a vicious cheap shot. Sandstrom originally thought to have suffered a broken jaw, but he escaped without serious injury. Brown says he'll accept the punishment for his action.
It was an unfortunate incident. I take full responsibility for what happened. I'll abide by Mr. O'Neill's ruling, and after the suspension, I'll get on with the season.
I am here to say to you that we think that the penalty to Dave Brown was not severe enough. Period. No one ever warrants an attack like that.
And late afternoon is the best time for your Tuesday fishing. Check it out from about 4 till about 7. Nighttime hours from 8:30 just around midnight, also good. And that's sports. Right?
Okay, thanks, Kim. We'll talk about Halloween